Hello, hello, Eastern Ace. It's Philip Wilkerson and Bob. We're back for another episode of Eastern Ace Conversations with Bob and Phil. We're so excited for the new year, or I guess the new Eastern Ace year as it kicks off. We had Twitter chats, we had blog posts, we got webinars scheduled, and this is going to be the first episode of this show for the Eastern Ace year. But before we get started and before Bob introduces our guest, I want to take a quick moment to share something that's very important to me, and that is mentorship. So as you know, Eastern Ace has a mentorship network, or if you didn't know. And with that being said, this is an opportunity to connect with those throughout Eastern Ace. So I'm going to do a quick run through on how you can tap into this network and connect with your mentor. So I pulled up here, if you can see, was it share screen, and do not show me again. I'm going to do this tab. I'm already logged in as an Eastern Ace member. And so I'm going to show you how you can reach out to either a mentor or a mentee for guidance. So I'm already logged in. I'm going to go to the membership directory. I'm going to go gain access. And don't worry, those that I'm not going to show anyone else's private information. I'm just going to use my name, for instance. So I'm Philip Wilkerson. All right. If you are looking for mentorship or mentee, you click on this tab right here that says mentor directory. And then you say what you're looking for. Well, me, I'm looking for everything, whatever. And then you do search. Now, if it loads up, it will, boom. People that meet that criteria that actually on their own says, I am open to being a mentor or mentee should show up. And so be proactive. I already did it. For those that reached out, I already reached out. You can see here in the tab, I'm interested. I got my blurb. I got what I'm interested. And you can see right here, I am open to being a mentor or mentee. So do some of that engagement. Start the year off being a mentor. And I want to shout out the committee on that, which is chaired by Diana Mendez. Shout out to you and her committee, Colby Sim, Alicia McCormick, Juliana, Gemma, and Michelle Liederman. I apologize if I mispronounced your name. Connect with them, type them in the search, connect with them as a mentorship committee, but really take advantage of it. But without further ado, I just wanted to share that real quick. Let's get into the episode. Bob, go ahead and introduce our guest.
No, that's so important. Oh, hold on 1 second. My dog's about to go crazy out here. Hold on.
Let me introduce the guest then. That's crazy. You never know what's going to happen on this show. But today, we're starting off this show with a very special guest. He is a returning guest to our show, Eastern Ace Conversations with Bob and Phil, but he's in a new role. When he joined us last time, he was president-elect, and I did get that correct. But this year, he is actually our president. So without further ado, I want to welcome to Eastern Ace Conversations with Bob and Phil, our president, current, or whatever you call it, Junior Delgado. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm just laughing. I'm having a good time, and anything happens on this show, and seeing Bob's dog going crazy in the background, that was awesome.
Yeah,
That's that work from home. We still haven't figured that out after 2 years. That made sure I'm on the hot spot, made sure I got quiet, got everything ready to go. Dog obviously saw something outside. Might have been a Westfield State owl. I'm not sure. Probably going after it, but either way, so excited to have you, Junior. So. Just before we get into the questions about Eastern Ace, how's the start of the year going for you? What are you seeing with your students? I mean, this is a lot of people are saying a return to normal or pre-pandemic. What are you seeing at your school? What are you seeing from some of your colleagues up in Massachusetts? And what's that scene look like for career services broadly right now?
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here. I appreciate it. So nice to be with both of you again, and shout outs to the Eastern Ace family. I hope everybody's doing well. I think that what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing is we're working to figure it out. And I think that that's something our students are excited to be back. We're also seeing that a lot of students want in-person activities. They want those connections again. They want to see each other. They want to talk to each other. They want to be in the same room. So I think we're learning as we go. We also are mindful of individuals that are still either compromised health or there's other issues that might happen. So there's still students that are masking up. And in Massachusetts, one of the things that we have that comes from our state government, as well as that anybody who visits a counseling center at an institution, a public institution, or health services still has to mask up. So again, that's what I'm saying. We're trying to figure it out as we go, and we're taking our cues from the state. But I think in terms of the students, the energy levels, I'm hoping are the same on all of your campuses. People are fired up to be here. Faculty and staff are excited to see students again in person, more of a return to normal. So for us, I think it's just, I said this, I spoke in a meeting the other day, and there was probably about 100 students. I said, thank you for bringing back that energy. We really missed that over the summer, is that student energy. Phil, I know you thrive off that energy. Bob, I know you thrive off that energy as well.
I'm already, I'm like so happy. Like my on-campus days, I'm ripping and running. You never know. You might see me walking all over the place. I love the energy, and I feed off of that as an extrovert. One thing I want to go into as we think about it is one thing that was really stand out to me as you as a president was your commitment to kindness in regards to Eastern EACE and just this leader as this organization. I remember that is one of your pillars. I don't know if you have like a pillar algorithm, acronym or something like Junior and with the J and all that, but that really stood out to me. And I think that's something that we resonate on in regards to kindness. So please speak to that as being a core value of you as a person, and that being a core value of you, of what you want to be seen through Eastern EACE, that kindness.
I think that what it comes down to is it's really a humanistic character trait. And I think that as I've spoken to individuals, as I've been out talking on college campuses, and I'll use it for me, I'm the type of person, Phil, I think we're the same. We walk across campus, we may not make it to the same place because we've stopped 10 times to talk to 10 different people, or a student might come and say, I need X, Y, and Z. Or you have somebody from a faculty member, we got to get you into the classroom to come and speak to our students. So those are things that I think that I see across campus, and being able to, as I always say, to say hello, to say good morning, how are you doing, and actually listening to students. That is the biggest difference that can make a change in somebody's day. I really do believe that. And we as leaders in career centers, staff, faculty on our campuses, we set the tone for our students. We really do. And if we're not being kind to one another, if we're not civil to one another, students will pick up on that. And so being those role models, I guess it always goes back to role modeling and mentoring. How can I be kind and show that kindness to a student if I'm not kind? Do you know what I mean? And so for me, it's always about what we shared. And we had talked about this a long time ago on one of your podcasts, which is, and Bob, I remember this because this was at the conference. What we do and the nature of what we do is for our students at all levels. And so they're on our campuses. It doesn't cost us anything to say hello, to welcome them, to be kind, because it goes a long way. And students really, really appreciate that. And they'll let you know, hey, that's the guy that helped me with whatever. Oh, that's the guy that answered my question. That's the guy that assisted me and pointed me in the right direction to the advisor that I needed to speak to, or told me where that office on campus was because I had no idea, or even walked me there. Those are the types of things that we want to emulate and role model for our students, that kindness and civility, because in turn, my hope is that they'll see us be kind, and then they'll start to be kind to one another or continue to be kind with one another. So that's where that all stems from. I think, again, it's a very basic humanistic, intrinsic core value, smiling, saying hello to people. It's natural, but I think it helps build and shape our moods on our campuses as well with our students.
And I'm on camera. I'm having a rough day over here. The dog got me all flustered here. Yeah. So as we get back to this, and so looking at the year for Eastern EACE, to go to kind of a standard interview question, what's the one thing that you're most excited about for this year? And then what's one area, an opportunity for growth or development you're looking and seeing that you're like, hey, we want to move into this space as we grow as an organization?
That's actually a great question. So I think I'm most excited that people are having the opportunity to share with one another, that we have these committees that are back to running again. I know that one of the things that has been discussed within the organization is potentially looking at ways to build more in-person events for individuals. And I think that is very exciting for all of our members that want to, again, participate and be in the same rooms. We got that conference experience that people want a little bit more than that. So I think that's one of those things that's really exciting for the organization. But certainly seeing all these committees back at work, working together in unison for one common goal, I think is what's really, really exciting about the organization. The one area I think that there's some areas for growth, but two of the areas that I think are important is bringing new membership into the organization. And that membership, we really want to reach out to our community college partners. We know there's great things happening in career centers, on community college campuses. We also know that within the Eastern Seaboard that we sit from Maine all the way down to Virginia, we have a couple of HBCUs and engaging some of those partners as well. So those are two things that I've talked about that we'll be working with individuals to do some outreach and see if we can engage some of those members to look at building content, building programming that will be able to come in so that impacts them, and then they're able to hopefully join our organization or at least participate, dialogue with us. But I would say as a president, those are two of the things that I think are important. The other thing that I'm very excited about is I'm looking at hosting either before the end of this month or early October, 2 or 3 listening sessions with our members to find out what it is that our members like, what they need, where we might be falling short. Because I think it's good to always consistently talk to your members and not just through a physical paper survey, because I think that is too easy for people to avoid. But actually sitting in a room like this, doing some Zoom calls, and sitting with individuals and saying, look, I don't want to do any talking. And I've already said that multiple times. Just tell me, talk to me. What is it that you like about the organization? What are some things where you see some growth for us? What are some things that we could try as an organization? And I think that is what's really exciting.
I love it. I love it. And I was about to say, active listening, that'd probably be so hard to be in a room and just the firing squad, the town hall, and you can't say nothing. So just put yourself on mute. One thing I want to tail off and continue with the discussion of new members and kind of that interview thing. I'm a HBCU president, or I'm a community college, or I'm just a normal person. Sell me. Why should I be a member? What is the value add to me? What would be the benefit of being a member of Eastern ACE? If that's one of your goals, to increase membership, what would you tell me as a person that maybe be on the fence about my membership?
Guy's blasting today. He's coming out strong. I like that though. I really do like that. I think as an individual who's been involved with the organization for 20 years, Bob, we've talked about this before. Phil, you've heard me say this. The camaraderie, the relationships that have been built over 20 plus years for me, going back to some of the presidents, some of the mentors within the organization for me as well, that you have access to everyone. You have access to individuals. It's not like, oh, I'm joining this organization and I may never, ever speak to the president. No, you can just as easily reach out to the president and say, here's my idea, when I didn't think anybody else would listen to me within any other organization. Or look at what we've done, which is shout out to Jen Rossi with the board shadow program. I don't know how many organizations are doing that, where you get to come in as an individual who might be interested in the board and you get to shadow and find out what the meetings are like. What are they talking about? What is being shared? That's unique to our organization. I think the outreach that we do in terms of personal involvement and welcoming people to the organization is also something that we've done very, very well. When you look at our conferences, which we started, and certainly COVID took that away. But we personally, as a board, stand at that doorway, at that entrance to that first session at the conference, and we welcome everyone that comes into the session, because to us, it's important. There might be people that are nervous, have never attended a conference, have never participated in that way. And just a smiling face, welcome, we're happy to have you here. I think that goes a long way in really making people feel welcome. And so for me, those are things that I think are benefits of this organization, where it's very humanistic. People do say that, oh, we're approachable, you can contact us. But really, when you actually try to do that, how successful are you in doing that? And I feel that every member that we have in this organization, from top to bottom and bottom to top, because it works both ways, are individuals that are here with one goal, one purpose. And at the end of the day, that's either serving students, working with students, or connecting students to opportunities in the working world. And so we have that common bond, that common goal. So I hope that answers that question, because that was heavy hitting.
Dang, I'm sold. Hey, I'm sold. Hey. And shout out to Jen Rossi Long. I mean, definitely the board. Look at your boy. I participated in the shadow program, and now I'm on the board. So I think it's shows the value add of being able to be welcome. So shout out to you, man.
No, and then so I'm going to ask a question on top of that. How do we expand that thought leadership? Because something that I think we all say is that, oh, that person's an all-star. That person's the smartest person I know. That person, oh, we are a copycat kind of organization in the sense that, you know, Junior, I think about what you did during the pandemic to highlight your students. So something maybe small in nature, but really put your students out there at a different level nationally. Say, hey, we have great opportunities for our students to find next level work. And then I think everyone on the Eastern Seaboard had a program like you did about getting our stuff out on LinkedIn. How do we expand that thought leadership to make sure? And so it's not only that our organization hears it, but it really gets out to employers, labor markets, different organizations in higher ed to showcase that Eastern ACE is really leading the way there.
So for me, I always say this, I don't own anything. I always borrow from creative minds, from individuals that are much, much smarter than me. I'm not the smartest person in the room. I always say that. And I like to borrow and collaborate. And I think that that's important. But any of these things that we've ever done, the outreach, when people outreach, it's about sharing it. I mean, I would welcome any organization to reach out and say, hey, how did you do the board shadowing program? How did you make it so that everybody showed up and welcomed people at the conference? Because I think that when you can expand that and that grows, and whether we're the leaders in this or not, it's all about making better human beings and better people. And it's about being, again, it goes right back to kindness. It's about being kindness through every organization and making every single person feel inclusive and that they have an equitable part in that organization, because those are other things that are very important to me. I want the person who just joined yesterday to the person who's been with us for 30 years to feel the same sense of responsibility within the organization, to feel the same sense of belonging. And so I think that, like I said, Bobby, your question is about how do we continue to share that thought process? I think that when we're all together moving in the same direction, that's going to emulate from our organization. Because then anybody, why are you a part of Eastern ACE? Here's why I'm a part of Eastern ACE. Anybody can say, here's why. And so we want to share that, to have the same message, to have the same approach. Why did you join this why did you join that organization? You know what? I have found more friendly and welcoming people within Eastern ACE, and that's the reason why I joined. But not only that, but the programming, they actually listen to their members, the values of what you add. I had the opportunity to go from just joining to joining a committee to then continue to grow and see that path of growth through the organization. And I think that that's the thought process that we want to share, that you can really come to this organization and start as a member, and in no time be on the board, serve as the president of the organization. So we have those vehicles and those channels to really get people involved. And again, that's the lifeblood of what we do. We run because of this organization runs and is successful because of all the people that participate, not only on all of our committees, but our members and our board members.
I love that. And there's not a hard hitting question. So I definitely ease up, man. I'm throwing fastballs or whatever.
This is Friday, Phil. You got to take it easy on me.
Call me CC Sabathia. Because I'm definitely doing a Yankees thing for you as probably a Red Sox.
Yo, shout out Yankees.
Shout out Yankee. Hey, that's good look right there.
Yeah. So my question is being on the other side, right? Like, I think for those that maybe did not see the other episode, and now that you are president, one, it's kind of a two-part. Like, does it feel surreal? Does it feel surreal being at this level of leadership? And two, take us a little bit to that journey when you first started, like the member to this, because I think that's really helpful. I think hearing from your story and seeing that visibly has been really helpful in regards to anyone else getting involved. Like, wow, I can get there too, or something.
Yeah, I think for me, it's a history that goes back probably like 20 plus years, but I'll sweeten it, I'll shorten it and make it very short and sweet. And I think for me, what it was, coming into the organization, I had no idea what it was about. I knew the space that I was working in. I knew that it was about serving students, but I had no idea what the organization was about. And I always go back to my story because my first person that I ever met through the organization was Dr. Walter Tarver. And that was at a conference in Philadelphia way back in 2000 or 2001. The hotel no longer exists. We shut that place down. That's what I'm going to say, as an organization. And through other members and Dr. Tarver, I never really thought about the leadership component of the organization. And then I think they gave me like a free pass that first year and said like, let him just get his feet wet, understand the organization. He's at the conference for the first time. And it was like year 2 and 3. Hey, what do you think about? And then I was like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to spend that kind of time? The beauty that made it really nice was that there was some in-person stuff, but because we were from all different regions, it wasn't like I was going to be traveling from Massachusetts all the time to different regions. And as the years went, it was like, join a committee. Okay, great. Hey, would you like to co-chair a committee? And I was like, man, these people are giving me way more work and responsibility. Now, do I want to take that? And then it just kept going up and going up every couple of years. And then to the point where they were like, would you want to lead a committee? And I was like, oh, here we go again. And so it just, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. And I continued to grow and gain experience and learn how to work with individuals, because you're working with people. I mean, you're leading, but you're really working with people and understanding people, understanding the different learning styles, who they are, understanding to listen to people that bring their opinions as well. And from there, then one year it was like, hey, we'd like you to join the board. Have you ever thought about that? But, and I think I've shared this before, and I said, but the position is the director of finance. And I looked at them, as soon as they said that, I said, absolutely not. That was what I said. I mean, that's the first thing instinctively that came out of my mouth. And the person who was recruiting me said, well, why not? And I said, well, here's my reservations, A, B, C, D, F, G, not doing it. And he goes, let's talk to you for a little bit. And then that individual who was Carrie Weir Lytle, all of a sudden calls Dr. Tarver and says, yo, we got to work on Junior. You got to talk to him. So then I get a call. I see a text from Dr. Tarver, and it's like, oh no, I know what he's hitting me with. So he's going to hit me with the same thing. And then he tried to talk me to, and he said, look, you're going to have support. There's going to be people there to help you. You're going to get trained. You're going to understand what everything is. And then I took a chance and I jumped, and I did it. And I enjoyed the position. I learned a lot about this organization from a financial perspective, from a back-end perspective, what it takes to put conferences together, understanding budgets, understanding more programming that really gave me I'm going to say that 100,000 mile view above the organization. And then I kind of sat in that role, and I took a step back, and then it was like, hey, can you co-chair a conference? And then it was co-chairing 2 conferences. And then the first one was all in person, Niagara Falls. And then the second one, we were getting ready to go to Baltimore. And then all of a sudden, COVID hits the world. And that's like, we're going virtual. So trying to navigate that and understand that, and then be sitting behind a computer screen and still being hyped, being amped up for a conference, that was very interesting to learn that. And when that was coming to an end, they said, hey, well, what do you think about president? And that one was like, I really got to think about that, because that is a 3-year commitment. But I think I'm most excited in the role again, because I get to work with people that I respect, individuals that really have a common vision, individuals that are excited for the organization. The other thing, and the last thing that I'll say is, did I ever envision myself 20 years ago saying like, I'm going to come to this organization and be president? Absolutely not. Not at all.
All right. Well, so that's a good segue. So we, again, are so appreciative for this time. We're, again, excited for what this year has in store, but we want you to go back now. So you have the unique opportunity to talk to 20-year-ago Junior. What you get 30 seconds with him. What are you telling him in 30 seconds that will make him prepared for the next 20 years in Eastern EACE?
Run. No. No, what I would say is having people that can support you makes the non-known not so scary. Having people that will be there to work with you and support you makes everything possible within the organization. And that will give you the confidence to continue to move forward and be able to serve this organization. Because there are people that said, I can't do it. And then when they got into the roles, what did they say? Wow, I appreciated the support. I appreciated the help. And there was always someone there to provide the assist. And that's the case. I would say that to myself. There's always going to be people within the organization who will be there to provide the assist. You're not doing it alone.
No, that's so true. I mean, and it's such fantastic advice. So I'll follow up on that. Did you ever see yourself being, so 20 years back, what were the aspirations? So when you're getting started in the career, like I said, hey, Junior, where do you see yourself in 20 years? What does that look like? And does it even look remotely like what it looks like now?
That is an awesome question because I don't know that I've ever been asked that, Bob. And so to reflect on that, I think for me, and I'll say this as a 20-something-year-old coming into this profession, I just wanted to learn as much as I could. And then the other thing that I think was so important was I never wanted to be stagnated, because I have seen people in this space who have come and have done it for long years. And after a while, the energy, the commitment, the desire to want to help, there's a burnout that takes place, because this is also very cyclical, the way that you do this in the career space and when students come in. And I think for me, it was about, I always want to ensure that I'm continuously learning. That's the most important thing that I said to myself. I don't know that I saw this vision for myself 20 years later saying like, oh, you're going to go all the way here. But I was like, if I can continue to learn and I can continue to grow, then whatever my place is going to be in time, that's where my place will be, because everything also has its purpose and its time. But I don't think that I said, like going back, I don't think 20 years ago, I said to myself, oh, I have the aspiration someday I want to be the president of the organization. I just wanted to learn, and I wanted to certainly pick up tidbits of and gems, as Phil likes to say, of knowledge from many of the past presidents and many of the past mentors.
Well, I think it's been great. I definitely want to respect the people's time that was joining us live. Junior, obviously I looked up to you, and you're one of those people that tugged me. I don't know why. Shout out to you, Jill, Jen, all these people that did those same trajectory of saying, hey, do this, do that, join a committee, join a co-chair with Bob. I was like, who is this dude? Let me connect with him. Is he cool? He is cool. And so I think the trajectory works the same way. And I can totally attest to that from my own personal experience. Junior, any last thoughts before I remove you from the screen and do a little bit of sharing on some Eastern EACE things that people can be on the lookout for?
I just want to say the last things that a couple of things very quickly, but maybe two. We'll keep it to two. I just want to say, be on the lookout. Please engage with our Eastern EACE newsletter. It's filled with great information. Any question that you might want to have about the organization, EACE.org. Visit the website. There's a lot of stuff, including the job board. So if you are looking for a new opportunity, somewhere that you want to slide over to, check out the job board. But there's so much information on that website. Please take a look at anything that we send out from the organization, which will allow you the opportunity, if you're even remotely thinking about joining any type of committee within the organization. So again, please participate. You are what makes this organization as our members. And the last thing that I'll say is I want to give a shout out to everybody who this fall went right back at it again, going into your college campuses, into your place of work, and doing recruitment and recruiting. So we want to shout out to all of our employer partners as well. I hope that you have a great fall. As I say, I live in New England. I live in Massachusetts. We're spoiled. I love the fall. The leaves are going to start changing within a month. It's great to be outside, biking, hiking, and make sure that you do take that time for yourself to decompress, for your mental health, so that you are feeling re-energized and you're taking the time for yourself. And that, to me, again, is something that's also very important, finding the balance within work and within your life.
Well, thank you so much. I will do some caveat and share some resources now. So Bob, it's been a great episode. And so as we finish off, I wanted to take 2 minutes to share again the website and some other resources. So as Junior said, be on the lookout, save the date. We already have the date selected, June 26th through the 28th. For the next conference in Baltimore. So that opportunity, we're going to come back to Be More and Be More. I don't know if they have a slogan. Oh yeah, it is. Say be more and be more. I literally did not know that was a slogan. I just did. We had the road trips. That's something to think about. Opportunities to meet employers where they're at and learn a little bit about them. We have these networking opportunities. As Junior did say, we do have a job board where you can submit those for your own office, as well as look at ones for yourself as an individual or professional. We have a lot of resources, blogs, networking, scholarships, old recorded webinars, and then the events calendar. So take a look. So this website and the resources on this association is really in depth. Really take full advantage of it. I realized that all these years of my membership, I wasn't. And so now I'm diving in and jumping in as much as I can on the webinars, on the blogs, on the Twitter chats, all those things, and really, really take full advantage of a wonderful organization that has benefited me so much, but also connected me with wonderful people. Bob, do you have anything else to say?
No, thank you. Hope everyone is having a fantastic start of your semester. Can't wait to be with obviously you, Phil, and all the great guests, and looking forward to leading up to the conference in June. Everyone have a great start to the semester, and just keep my JETS in your thoughts and prayers as we go through our football season. Thanks.
There it is.